Hope Force International is committed to motivating, equipping, and mobilizing the global Christian community to respond in times of crisis and chronic need, alleviating suffering and bringing hope through compassionate action. Hope Force International is dedicated to providing a clear pathway for Christians worldwide to become leading responders to the plight of global suffering. This vision for a Christian ministry dedicated to crisis relief was birthed in founders Jack and Sherry Minton. For 19 years, Jack and Sherry invested their leadership skills into Mercy Ships, an international relief agency. Jack served as Senior VP of International Operations and Sherry as Training Director. The Mintons acquired extensive experience in providing leadership for numerous and multifaceted relief projects around the world, from the greater Caribbean Basin to Africa, areas affected by overwhelming crisis and poverty. During this time, Jack was involved in the assessment of disaster scenarios, such as the 1985 Mexico City earthquake and the aftermath of Hurricane Gilbert in Jamaica.
It was our years of experience in Mercy Ships that really was the door opener for us, that we had the opportunity to see firsthand those who were affected by crisis or disaster or calamity. And we felt like there should be a rapid response force comprised of Christians who could be deployed on a moment's notice to help alleviate the suffering of those who've been affected by these terrible situations. And we found, too, that in talking with Christians, both here in the United States and around the world, that many people wanted to do something, but they really didn't know what to do or how to get started. And so that's part of what Hope Force is all about, is creating that pathway, that bridge that would provide an opportunity for effective service.
Disasters, both man-made and natural, have grown exponentially since the late 1960s. More disasters were reported in 2003 than in any previous year. Over 60 million people were affected by disasters in 2002. The number of people affected by disasters has risen over 50% over the last 2 decades. With no foreseeable decrease, the need for help will continue to increase. The many references to feeding the hungry, clothing the naked, giving shelter to the wanderer speak to the priorities of Jesus and are observable behaviors he is looking for in his followers.
There are several factors or barriers that prevent the average Christian from being involved. One is the fear of the unknown. They've never been there, they've never been involved in a crisis situation, and they're afraid to respond. The other is a sense of inadequacy, a sense of having not been prepared or equipped to think that you can be effective in that environment. And then the third factor really is a clear pathway. For instance, this past summer, we were able to participate with the Salvation Army in response to the hurricane season that devastated Florida and Alabama, and we were able to deploy Hope Force reservists to partner with them in that response. And we are looking forward to further developing that relationship with them, not only in the deployment of disaster responders, but also in the training as well.
Hope Force International will be involved in several specific areas, including disaster preparation through training and strategizing, taking action through immediate response and relief at disaster sites worldwide, proactively helping disaster victims through recovery and development programs, as well as serving in areas of chronic pre-existing need. Hope Force International will achieve its ministry mission and goals through a broad range of strategies. These strategies include creating regional Hope Centers, instituting Hope Force training, enlisting Hope Force reservists, empowering Hope Force response teams, employing Hope Force alliances, and providing recovery and development. While it is our desire that everyone has the opportunity to be a reservist, we realize that there will be those who will not be able to physically go. However, just as the Good Samaritan provided the innkeeper with the necessary finances to take care of the bruised and injured man he encountered on the side of the busy highway, we can also be Good Samaritans through making it possible to send others through our financial support.
Why shouldn't the church be the leading response force to those who are suffering, to those who've been affected by crisis and disaster? It's our conviction as Hope Force International that we as the Christian community have the opportunity, the privilege, and even the responsibility of putting our love of God into action. It's the faith in deeds together that can change the world. And if you have a heart of compassion, if you're moved by the suffering of people that you see on the screen or you see next door, Come and join us. Be a part of putting your faith in God into loving action.